In this episode of Negative Modifier, we'll be playing the game Delta Green. Delta Green, by design, tackles various mature themes that may be uncomfortable or triggering for listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Hey, it's Charlie, Negative Modifier's Game Master. First off, thank you for giving us a listen. As always, expect something horrible to happen to the players. If you're a fan, support us by leaving a review on iTunes. And if you hate the show, consider doing it anyway and enjoying the fact that you've inflicted us on someone else. For the most up-to-date news in the podcast, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And with that... this cross-country flight to San Diego. You got this private fancy plane. You've just had this, I'm not going to say uncomfortable, but very real conversation with Miss Pine about the situation. To Florence's earlier point about something, this is the most money FCell's ever had thrown at it as part of an operation. It's both kind of be both daunting and a good thing. These agents have been through the ringer. It's been a short time in FCell, but in that time, those that are still living from its origins have seen some stuff. People have been shuffled in. They've also seen some stuff. Where is each agent at this point? How your bond's doing? How's your sanity at this point? You got some time to rest. At least you'll be hitting the ground kind of refreshed and ready to roll on this. But yeah, let's do a quick check-in on everyone, starting with Florence. Florence, how you doing mentally at this point?
I mean, Florence is surprisingly determined. She's been wanting to know what's been going on with Francis for a while now, so going in to see, well, his home and get answers is almost reassuring to her. And being proven right that we are being hunted or set up is just kind of gotten her. She's not afraid or nervous. She's confident for like the first time while working with Delta Green.
Yeah, there's something reassuring in the worst way possible about not being crazy. Well, like not crazy. You're in Delta Green, so you're a little bit crazy still, but you're not crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, her bonds aren't in a great place. I mean, all of them are almost a D4 away from breaking.
Fantastic. Next up in the with FCell longest, Agent Foxtrot.
Mm-hmm.
Delta Green has not been kind to you.
No, I guess you could say that.
We have what? One more pending disorder.
Yes.
Do you have any bonds left at this point?
Just Delta Green bonds.
I guess we should talk about that real quick. This has been a bonding experience for everyone. Some Delta Green bonds have been picked up. Everyone's bonded with each other again. Like, you broke bonds with Agent Firestarter, and now you're back, right? Like, that's how messed up the last operation was for everyone?
Yeah, that's actually exactly what happened in my case.
All right. Yeah, so you are alone in your world except for Delta Green agents. Are you down to single-digit sanity points yet, or are we still like in the mid to low 20s?
My character?
Yeah.
I am actually still at double-digit sanity points. I didn't go down that far bad. Like, I mean, I'm under my breaking point, but I'm definitely not,
Do you have a remaining breaking point before you hit 0?
Yes, I still have a breaking point for sure.
All right.
I'm actually exactly at my breaking
point. Fantastic. Last but not least, feels weird to call you the newest member of FCell, but technically the newest member of FCell, Agent Firestarter. How are you doing?
Ironically, Foxtrot is actually one of the few people that Firestarter looks up to almost. It's the same kind of bond score as his station chief. So, yeah, like he thinks Foxtrot's a pretty cool guy. And Florence has a little bit of the same as his bar friend. So I think it's kind of this weird thing of just like, it's good to see a familiar face, but there's still that hard disconnect that Firestarter can't really kind of grasp on.
And I'd say that makes sense. Florence, would you disagree that Florence is a bit of a harsh individual in some ways? Kind of a bit of maybe abrasive is the wrong phrase, but she's Pine-esque in her social interactions.
Yeah, I think that Firestarter has coined the term perfectly, that she's an ice queen.
Yeah. Well, it's great to see remaining FCell with such healthy, vibrant bonds and, for the most part, strong mental fortitudes as we touched down in San Diego. There's a car waiting for you. You've had some time to sleep on the plane. So as fresh-eyed and energetic as you can be, you are going into this. all three of you are from California in some way, shape, or form, technically, right? I'm assuming you all have been to San Diego probably at some point in your lifetime.
Yeah.
Maybe not since Florence was a kid, but definitely Foxtrot and Firestarter, you've been to San Diego for recreation or probably work at some point.
Absolutely.
Well, definitely work. My character was in the Marine Corps, so that's where Pendleton is.
Yeah, Florence has probably been out here a couple of times too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she studied out in California, so.
Yeah, so you touch down, you get a text message directed to your car. It's a unassuming black SUV parked in one of the parking garages. Do you go straight to the address, or do you kind of stop and make some detours along the way? You have all your gear, so I know you're a big fan of this at this point. For Foxtrot, you have your AK, your beloved AK that you took out of that tea bag.
Hell yeah.
Any last-minute stops, or is it straight to Agent Francis's house?
No green boxes nearby, I'd imagine.
None that you've been informed of.
I mean, let's get suited up and let's go in. I mean, we're being led here, so we need to be ready. This is probably an ambush, so maybe we want to circle the block a couple of times, see if we can spot anything weird out.
Yeah, before we do that, oh god, I've got a little bit of a hangover. If we could stop and get like a California burrito, that would be perfect.
Sure.
Interesting choice for potentially a last meal, but okay.
I just want carne asada, guac, and French fries, just in a loving little bag in my face.
No, I get it.
All of that is extremely bad for you.
Same with like I think the 2 handles of whiskey that I had, but
fair point.
You do what you do so you can fall asleep.
Fair point.
You get your food. It's either the best tasting thing or you have a hard time tasting it. I'm not going to say how you feel on this one, but any other stops before Francis's house, or is that next stop?
I'm going to look at the team and say, this involves Cairo imports. We might want to cover our necks. We're going to think back to our first little operation, Florence.
Yeah.
So, what time of day is it right now?
You flew all night, so it's kind of morning at this point. I'll even say it's like probably like 7, 8 a.m. It's early. You made really good time. Private flights can do that. You have the day to do this, admittedly. Like, you have however many hours it is till sundown if you want to spend some prep time, if you want to observe the house. You have time to do prep work if you want. So I'm giving you the option right now of kind of spending some time and not barging in immediately, but also maybe it makes sense to barge right in, kind of do that raid tactic at that point. The choices are yours.
I'm going to look at the team and say, we should probably like that cover our necks, and if there's a place nearby, we can get some leather jackets or something just to kind of, have some more protective gear in case whatever the hell we don't deal with any of that bug shit last time.
Yeah.
So, and we've got daylight, so we don't have to rush, and it's San Diego, so definitely not going to have to go to some side shop in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Gonna say, I mean, if you don't mind being high vis, I could just hit up one of my buddies down here at the San Diego Fire Department, and I could probably borrow a couple jackets. Unless I could point you to the closest, like Harley Davidson or Gay Leather Shop or something. I don't know.
I mean, that might not be a bad idea, the firefighter jacket. I mean,
Yeah.
people ask, we can just say we're investigating gas leak.
Yeah,
right?
that actually sounds like a plan.
Cool. Would I be able to call my station chief and see if I can get a hookup for those jackets?
Yeah. What's your bond at with the station chief?
It is a 7.
Yeah, it's still high enough. He probably trusts you and stuff like that at this point in time. So, yeah, you're capable of getting a hold of him. He has a hookup for you. It's not the nicest gear. It's kind of emergency, like wildfire fighting gear, hypothetic. It's not active use gear, I guess. Like, it's stuff that's either kind of been boxed up for the next fire season or is waiting final evaluation or kind of that thing. He's not quite sure why you need it, though, and give me a charisma check to see if he's suspicious about this at a later date.
Oh, he's a little suspicious.
Yeah, it's a little bit strange. Where does he think you are right now? I think he thinks you're off at a conference and suddenly you're down in San Diego asking about high-vis gear. That's a weird thing to think about.
Yeah, Clint. You got me. It's Clint. He's doing something at the bar, and he asked me if I could borrow some gear. I swear it's going to be fine. It's not going to be like covered in booze or like anything lecherous or whatever. But, we're firefighters. It's kind of hot.
Kind of shrugs this off, but he'll remember this. He'll probably have some more questions later. So, yeah, armed with your heavy fireman jackets, what are you off to next?
Do we know what hospital Francis is in?
You've not been told what hospital Francis is in, no.
Florence will text Pine asking an address.
She does not get back to you at this point in time.
Well, let's go pick up the gear and let's surveil the area for a bit.
Do you have the address?
Yeah.
Cool. I want to pop the address into my phone, and I want to use the satellite view just to kind of get an idea as to what the area is like.
It's a suburban neighborhood of San Diego. It's not one of the best neighborhoods, but it's far from the worst type of thing. Like, it's this kind of little boring neighborhood where Francis could afford a property of some kind, like a federal salary, U.S. Marshal. They don't make terrible money, but at the same time, you're not living large. Like, he's also divorced once over, so it's kind of got some of the remnants of that. It appears to be kind of a house on a corner amongst a bunch of other houses type of situation. Based on aerial view, the house looks nice.
Is it on a hill?
No.
Okay. Well, it seems pretty flat. Here, Foxtrot, tell me what you make of this. Do you see a better vantage point as to kind of where to come in?
What are your 2 military sciences at?
The military science land is at 50.
That's enough to ask you this question. I'll probably just give it to you at this point.
What was Firestarter's question?
I hand my phone over to Foxtrot and I ask, here, you take a look at this. Is there a better kind of plan to kind of get in there and whatnot? We know the address. We can at least just kind of get an idea as to, hey, this is our entryway, this is our exit way, this is what's the best vantage point.
Looking at this house, from a defensive standpoint, it's got 2 kind of good exits. You've got kind of the front, and you assume it's the side, and also you could go out the back. Side of the house that faces other buildings, that's not so great, but you do in theory have 3 decent exits to kind of go out of this. The back exits out into kind of a alley sort of shared yards. That's not perfect. You could jump across those. There's an intersection that kind of faces at it. So in theory, if you want to kind of drive by and scope it, as long as you're making big enough loops, you do in theory have some approaches for that. Looking at it, there's nothing that strange about it. You're also looking at it via kind of Google Maps or whatever. So it's not exactly a tactical aerial view at that point, but it seems very normal and boring and maybe kind of a tad intrusive almost, like you're looking at someone you've all known's house via street view without them knowing about that. That's a little bit strange, right? Like, looking for tactical advantages, problem areas, kind of red flags. What are you looking for in this scan, I guess?
Well, I guess if we were to go in through, like, let's say the back door or something like that to sneak in, how visible is his backyard to the other neighbors?
His backyard has a fence around it. Getting to it, you'll have to kind of worm your way through several other fences, though.
Okay.
Through several other kind of backyards to get there, kind of thing. It's that kind of everyone's backyards butt up against each other.
Okay.
And that being said, like, the front porch, it's one of those ones where maybe if you can just entry that way, it's a normal enough neighborhood. No one's going to be looking for home invaders, I guess. Like, this isn't like screaming, hey, people are breaking and entering. And you do have the fire uniforms. But that's actually a pretty good cover for we need emergency access.
Okay. Second thing, any cameras visible outside his house?
You would not be able to tell that from this kind of aerial footage. That's way too high def at that point.
Okay. Oh, it's just aerial footage. Okay. Is there an area nearby where I can kind of like set up shop and scout from a distance? Like a hill or anything like that?
There's definitely the intersection. Yeah, there's a couple kind of options. Again, it's a residential area, so most of it's just kind of houses, but you could probably find some like high ground at an intersection you could scope from if you wanted to.
Okay. The streets that he's on, are they like bigger public streets? Is it like private, like inner, like suburban neighborhood type streets where it's like not a lot of traffic gets through there because it's not like a main street or anything like that? What does that look like?
It's a residential area. It's not kind of gated, so there will be through traffic of people going through, but short of going home, there's not a lot of reasons to cut through here, definitely. Like, it's not private, but yeah, not a lot of through traffic, if you will.
Perfect. So I'm going to look at the team and I'll say, well, we can probably just come around through the front if we want. We do have the firefighter outfits, so it's something of a cover. I do want to get closer and take a look before we even approach, kind of thing, especially because, you know, considering we've been being watched, I'm not going to be surprised if there's just a bunch of cameras set up around the area nearby. So I definitely want to scout for that first before we even approach the house. But I do have a question. Florence, you've worked with him for a long time. The house we're going to. Have you ever been here before? Like, did you guys ever interact outside of Delta Green?
No.
Okay.
I didn't even know what his real name was.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I think we use the firefighter cover. Our best bet would be coming into the front. Could we borrow one of like the fire chief SUVs as well while you're grabbing some jackets?
I could try. Chief was a little suspicious about me asking for that.
If we pull up in our car and people like are diving that deep into questions, then we're already made.
Fair. Well, at least having something that looks like an SUV would draw less suspicion, because usually a fire chief or some sort of higher ranking fire official would have they'd be rolling around the SUV. We're looking for gas leaks and, we're just in a normal car. Also a little sus. So, yeah, let's go take a look. I want to get a closer view and definitely see if there's any cameras about, because considering, like I said, we've been watched, would not surprise me if there's just a boatload of cameras all over his house, or at least neighboring houses.
You see anything on Street View?
Not really. It's hard to tell. On the plus side, though, I mean, it's residential, so we can definitely set up shop somewhere nearby and get a good look without raising too much suspicion right off the bat. So, probably something we can scope out with a nice set of binoculars or something.
And their question, aren't we already in a black SUV?
Yeah, that's what you got.
Okay.
You also haven't really checked around the black SUV yet, so possible find stash some stuff there for you.
Ooh, I want to search the black SUV now.
Yeah. And no need to roll a search for that. You kind of look around like in hidden but not hidden fashion, kind of just like so it's not obvious. This car has been rigged up, maybe not for like a full surveillance. It's got long lens cameras, it's got binoculars. This is a surveillance vehicle, not like a hard wiretapping surveillance, but if you had to do a stakeout, there are far worse vehicles to be in than this one.
We're set for the surveil, so we should do that for a bit.
I'm good on that plan.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so is it off to kind of do some drive-bys?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let's kind of set this up as though you're doing some surveillance. So what's the first step? You find a spot to kind of set up surveillance and then do a drive-by. You got to take a long, kind of slow drive by the house. You got to do a couple laps. What's the plan, I guess, for this so we can kind of properly play through this?
So what I was thinking is, since this is set up in some way, we should do some loops and see if we can spot out anyone else who's doing the same thing we are. And we can be on the lookout for a spot for us to park and surveil as well.
Well, I am a firefighter. It'll be kind of weird if, say, like, we stop by one single house to ask that. Usually you'd have to start asking the block. I would say
we shouldn't ask anyone anything. No, we need to look to see if it looks like anyone is doing what we're doing.
My idea was to do the cover of I get dropped off. Y'all are just kind of finding a parking spot or whatever have you, or just you park, and I will ask around the block just to check their gas. I mean, like, this is something that I would be doing, or hey, I could just say like I saw some weird anomalies and whatnot. Make her, create that little alibi or cover or whatever the heck. I could kind of tell you guys whether or not like a specific house has these videos or rings even. I don't know if you guys know how to hack into like the Ring, Cloud, Social, whatever the hell. I don't understand what any of that is, but
I mean, you'd be surprised at how many people don't have passwords on their Wi-Fi, and then how easy it is to get into a network through like a baby monitor or something.
Yeah. And seeing as how you guys are going to be within visible distance from me, it's not like, hey, it's going to be a dangerous thing for me to go alone and just knock on the door and be like, hey, I'm just here to check your gas line.
Sure, that's actually, yeah, let's do it.
Not bad. And you have your firefighter credentials. I mean, you are a firefighter. You can definitely, we're not having to kind of make this up and pretend. You can literally just use what you would normally use on the job if you're cool with it.
Let me make cover while I'm establishing our alibi and while establishing our cover. You guys just start working.
And we'll loop the block a couple of times, see if we see any vans set up to do the same thing.
Good.
All right, so the plan is Firestar's going to look for gas leaks, fake gas leaks, and Florence and Foxter are going to kind of do some laps around the house for surveillance.
Yeah, while we're driving around the house, Florence is going to be on her laptop seeing if there are any like unsecured Wi-Fi networks around here, specifically like trying to see if Francis's house has any unsecured Wi-Fi networks or like camera routers, that sort of stuff.
Sure.
Hey, Foxtrot, do you know how to make a secure shortwave radio signal?
Might be able to whip something up. Depends on if we can get some materials together. Handler question, or I guess,
I was going to ask, like, what are you trying to make?
yeah. What are we trying to make specifically?
Kind of like a walkie-talkie, but a little bit more of a fine-tuned walkie-talkie that it has almost like a direct peer-to-peer connection. I mean, outside of like cell phones or fucking, I guess, like Signal or some shit like that. But
those were in the SUV with you. Those were kind of those things like a thing Pine would throw in as part of this package.
cool.
I need to go buy a new computer. I need to brick the old one. I'm pretty sure it's probably infected. So stop off and do that too.
Do we have basically a blank check right now from Pine?
Define a blank check, like money or
Yeah. Do we have, like, considering there's a lot of funds getting invested right now in this, do we have like unlimited funding at the moment? Or do we have access to an extra, like, I guess like a P card that a business would have? Do we have like a Delta Green version of a P card?
No, those do not exist. And, well, what's the nice way of saying this? You haven't been given any money yet, technically. It's been equipment and stuff like that, but...
Okay.
I'm going to pay for it.
Then we'll just go with it then.
And if we need any extra gear, I'll pay for it as well.
Either receipts. I'm sure we can get trying to reimburse you somehow.
It's a good idea.
I chuckle in the back. Oh, reimbursement.
Well, I mean, I would say I would be laughing too, but we got a private jet, so everything's kind of up in the air for what I understand now.
Yeah.
Good luck to you on that one.
Well, I mean, it's not like I'm going to be hurting for cash after this, so.
Yeah, aren't you like an investment god or something like that?
I mean, I work for the CDC and I make 6 figures, so.
Oh, look at me and my degree. Oh, God.
It's actually a PhD.
With my multiple degrees. Oh, my God.
He's got you there.
I'm going to go sulk over here with my school education college dropout. Actually, no, I have my associates, mind you. You know what? Never mind. I'm just going to sit in the back of this car. Let's go to Walmart. Let's just get you your stupid laptop.
Yeah, so rounding up the supplies is pretty simple. Nothing too exotic there, unless you're looking for something really high-end, which, seeing as I'm guessing you're going to brick this thing afterwards, I'm guessing it's not end-of-the-world type of fancy stuff.
Yeah, also, can I get a big magnet to brick my other one?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I would also say that Florence is smart enough to know that the only real way to brick a hard drive is with a drill through the hard drive.
Yup.
Oh, yeah.
Both easily doable. Yeah, so you arrive in Francis's neighborhood, kind of quickly drive by the place just to kind of get to a spot to unload Firestarter, and it's very obvious almost immediately which house is ultimately going to be your target. Like, without any searching or any kind of further investigation or anything, you not even need to look up the number of the house. You can see it. The lawn is overgrown. There's a car in the driveway that the driver's side has just been hit hard by another car. Hard T-bone hit. It's a pile of mail on the front porch. There's something off about the house, like it's not falling apart, but there's definitely kind of a vibe coming off of it. But there's no one part of the house that leaps as bad. The paint's not peeling. There's no like broken steps or anything, but there is kind of a drained almost aspect to it. Like it's weird. Like it's like almost like the paint's not shining as fully as it would be based on the color, or the light's not reflecting off the glass in the windows quite correctly or something. Like it's just, there's something off about the house, and it's showing minor time-based, like short-term time-based signs of neglect, but nothing overt. There's no like tree growing up in the middle of the living room. There's no telltale graffiti. There's just kind of a pile of newspapers that no one's bothered to take in, some piled up mail, a couple of packages on the front porch that no one's taken in and no one bothered to steal either, for that matter, and a car that very obviously got T-boned at one point. But you drive by that and kind of find yourself in the rest of the neighborhood. The rest of the neighborhood seems totally fine. A couple people kind of look at you just as a car driving by, but yeah, as best you can tell, no one without kind of further effort put in is actively clocking you as you go about your business.
I'm just going to see if I can get into any of Francis's networks.
All right, so you pop open the laptop and look for networks.
Yep.
You see kind of the smattering of various home Wi-Fis. Nothing leaps out at you as kind of an obvious Francis one, but there is Cairo Importing, just as a Wi-Fi name.
Oh, I hate it. Guys, she'll show whoever's not driving the Cairo Imports Wi-Fi thing. I can bet that that's coming out of Francis's house.
I see. Well, I know we were looking at the house and it looks all kind of run down, but are there any cameras outside?
None that you noticed. What's your search at again?
My search is at 53.
There are no cameras on the outside of this place. A couple motion lights, but no exterior security cameras.
Okay. What about the closest neighbors to his house?
Nah, no one went crazy with that again. Some more motion lights, nothing aimed at the house camera-wise. Maybe someone further down the block has a couple cameras, but nothing in the immediate area around the house you'll have to be wary of.
We should, before we make entry, we should get gas masks if we're checking for gas leaks, standard gear, just before we go into Francis's house. Also, in case they've got cameras rolling.
Handler question. Have I already been dropped off?
Not yet. I was going to say you're all still in the car together at this point.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I mean, like, gas masks, definitely, that's going to be the thing, but that's... How strong is the signal? I mean, like, it's a Wi-Fi access point. It's not like it's going to be some weird municipal signal that's going to be ubiquitous all over the neighborhood. If we drive closer to Francis's house, which I'm going to imagine is the rundown one, will it get stronger?
I don't know. We'll have to try.
What's your comp sci at, Florence?
50.
So you've driven past the house. You've put some distance between you, and the Cairo importing signal has not gotten weaker.
All of you check your phones, see if what Wi-Fi networks are available.
I'll grab my phone and I'll check and see what Wi-Fi shows up.
Same.
Yeah, so same deal. Smattering of kind of local various signal strengths, residential Wi-Fis, and Cairo importing. Full power. As best you can tell, no password.
Connect on one of your burners.
I'll grab my burner phone and I'll just go ahead and connect.
Yep, connect to the Wi-Fi. Nothing overtly weird happens as best you can tell. Just I have searches for a second, makes connection. Nothing.
I try to go to a search engine site like Google or something.
Yep, normal functionality.
Can I access the router gateway?
What is your character's comp sci level?
0.
Can I tell him how to do it?
Yeah, you can probably walk him through there. You can grab his phone and kind of walk him through them. That, yeah, it's an unprotected Wi-Fi. Like, it's inviting and welcoming to all.
Okay, so if I'm able to get to the gateway, I can log in. Well, I guess I'm going to hand the phone over to Florence at this point to have her look and see if she can access the admin control panel on the Wi-Fi since we can get to the gateway.
All right.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
So you can access it, you can see it, but you can't make any changes to it. Like, the thing, despite being totally unprotected, there's nothing you can do to alter it. Any alterations you make seem to revert themselves instantaneously back. There's definitely something weird going on. Like, it's super protected with zero protection on it simultaneously.
Weird.
I look over and kind of just almost curious because, I don't do a lot of computer stuff. I say, is there a way to shut it down from that thing since you're connected to it?
I mean, sort of. I mean, maybe if it wasn't any changes I make immediately revert.
Is there a large tower that this is coming from? Because if it's not getting any stronger or weaker, then it's covering this entire neighborhood.
Well, I mean, the next thing to try is I'll text Pine, or I guess I'll call her because she hasn't responded to me yet, and I'll see if she's got that network registering, see how widespread it is.
Do you disconnect from well, first and foremost, I mean, my burner phone's a flip phone, so I can't really connect to that internet and whatnot. Can you disconnect or just make sure that, by connecting to that network, you don't have that weird iFile on your phone?
I'll look through the burner to see if I can find the iFile.
No iFile. You gonna try disconnecting from the Wi-Fi, though?
Yeah.
All right, so how do you do that? Do you just kind of turn off the Wi-Fi, try and forget the Wi-Fi, or do you turn on airplane mode or something?
I forget the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it reconnects almost immediately.
Airplane mode.
It's still somehow connected. Give me a sand test.
Fair. 10% success.
All right. That's weird. Not how Wi-Fi works.
Sorry about your burner. She's going to take the SIM card out, snap it, and take the battery out.
Mm-hmm.
You can have this back.
Oh, the phone's still on.
Even with the battery taken out?
Yeah, no battery, no problem.
You can have this back.
Everyone give me a sand check now again.
Can I just chuck the phone without even looking at it and avoid the sand check?
No, you can't.
God damn it.
65 success.
89% failure. God fucking damn it.
90% out of 33 failure.
Only 1 point of sanity damage, but yeah, this phone, no battery, no SIM card. It's still capable of making phone calls, and it's still powered up.
Fuck.
Can I try calling 411 on the phone?
Sure. What is 411 again?
It's just the information line. It's a general information line.
Yeah, it connects. It's fine. It connects.
It doesn't go to like some sort of weird routing. It's just normal 411 San Diego kind of thing.
Normal 411 San Diego.
Okay, I hang up.
Did you just call without a SIM card and a battery?
Yeah, I did. Because this thing is fucking weird.
Oh, fuck.
Call my burner phone.
All right, I call Firestarter's burner phone.
It rings through fine. Yeah, normal phone call happens.
I look at Firestarter and say, I wouldn't pick it up. And then I hang mine up.
Okay, so I'm not getting out of this car to start dicking around with other people's stuff. Oh, God.
We need to just go in.
I'm going to call Pine. She
Okay.
wanted to be updated, so I'm going to update her before we go in.
Okay.
I will call Pine.
You can't get a hold of her.
Does the line like go dead, or is it ring and just doesn't?
Rings through, but she never picks up.
That doesn't feel right. I feel like she would definitely be picking up.
I tried calling Pine from my burner phone.
The one that was access to the network.
Yeah.
Yeah, same effect. It just rings through and never gets a hold of her.
Okay.
I called Trank.
You can try and call Tranche. She probably won't pick up though, but you can try.
You know what? I'm not even gonna fuck around with that. Now that I think about it, she'd be pissed.
You have your phone open in theory though?
Yes.
What somehow has Wi-Fi network now.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Hey, my Motorola that I bought from the grocery store.
Don't want to hear it.
I already know. We already know. Put it in your pocket.
I just now realized the fact that I had Google Street Viewed something on my phone and showed it to Foxtrot, so I can retroactively just be like, oh, okay, cool, whatever the hell. It's not like
I assume you have multiple burners. I'm saying this flip phone now has network capabilities.
Oh, boy.
All right, we can't wait for gas masks. Just cover your faces as we go on.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Okay, this is going to sound crazy, but just humor me here. Lawrence, this, did you ever have a contact number, kind of like how we exchange numbers with this guy here?
Yeah,
Give me his number. Let me call him on my phone, on my burner.
sure. Florence will give Foxtrot Francis's number.
I'll try to call Francis from my haunted cell phone.
Yeah, it rings through. You get kind of very bare bones, brusque answering machine. It informs you you've reached the phone of Roger Myers. He is currently in the hospital right now, so it will maybe a small amount of time before he gets back to you in person. Please contact his family if it's an emergency.
Do you have a phone number? Or just as generically, hey, call?
Just generically, yeah. Like kind of like if you have the number, that's how you get a contact with him. He's not giving out his family's personal numbers.
Okay. I hang up and say, yeah, okay, well, it's not calling some sort of weird, crazy connections, just dialing. So let's just get in there.
Do it.
Before we go in, I want to do a alertness check to see if there's anybody nearby that might watch us walk in or pull up to the house and walk in.
Nah, some people are about, but they're not really paying attention to you. Do you park in front of the house or across the street from the house?
I would say across the street from the house.
Florence is going to cover her face with like a scarf or something, just kind of wrap it around
Sure.
before pulling the hood up on the jacket.
Sure.
Since we went shopping earlier, I'm going to assume I also have some sort of face covering, like a scarf of sorts, if that's okay. Or is that allowed? Okay.
That's fine.
And I'll have all my stuff suited up. Obviously, my guns and stuff will be under the jacket. So I'm not going to be slinging an AK wearing the firefighter jacket on the outside. So
Yeah, I've got Kevlar on under the clothes and the jacket as well.
Sure.
yeah. I also have all my gear on that I would normally have. So I do also have my Kevlar and things like that.
Firestarter just always has his firefighter gear on him. So I'll be at least pretty decently uniformed from the waist up.
This all tracks. So you approach the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go for the front door. Or are you going for anything weirder? What's the plan?
Hey, Florence, what does your tattoo say? Or what's your tattoo saying about what's going on right now?
I don't know. As we approach the house, do I feel anything with the tattoo?
Nah, it's not really how the elder sign works, though, either.
Yeah, not really how it works.
Gotcha. I'm going to take a quick look around and see if there's anybody kind of watching us. Can I roll a search for that? 27 success.
Nah, no one's watching you. Looking around, you realize that, like, people are maybe not actively, but passively not looking at this house. Or you because you're in front of it. You're kind of an interesting sight. You're 3 people dressed in fireman uniforms, and no one is looking at you.
I just start yelling, just screaming, cursing profanities, waving my arms and jumping around.
No one seems to notice that, or if they are, they're not looking in the general direction that you are.
When he starts, Florence like grabs his shoulder and says, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Just no, look at this. I grab my handgun, point it up in the air, and I fire a shot.
What are you? She like the initial reaction where people duck when you shoot a gun.
Yeah. I'm just looking there standing like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, no one reacts.
No one's looking at us. I'm out here screaming profanities. I am dressed in high-vis gear in the daylight. I should be shining like a disco ball, and I just fired a gun in an affluent neighborhood.
You're not affluent.
In a well-to-do neighborhood. No one knows we're here. We are, if anything else, it's like we don't even exist.
Whatever it is, let's go fucking deal with it. Before that bullet comes down and fucking kills somebody.
We should just burn it. We should just burn this house immediately.
Sure. Let's get in, set it up for a burn.
Going in this house? With all the spooky shit going on right now, we don't just want to set it on fire from the outside. No one's looking at us. He's got a point.
Our directive was to search the house.
You're right. That was before we have haunted burner phones and somehow people ignoring this dude firing a shot into the air.
All right, let's loop the house, look in through the window, see what we see, okay?
Sounds good.
Looking in through the windows is hard. Like, now that you're up close, the windows almost have like an oily mirror-like quality to them. Again, they're not reflecting light back well, but you can see there's obviously a house inside of the house, but it's hard making out details.
Fucking bust the window.
I got my handgun and I fire a shot through the window.
Yeah, it goes through the window, it cracks the glass, it punches through.
Yeah, there's enough litter out here for me to set up a burn. I'm just gonna start piling up.
I want to do another alertness check, just since I already just fired a shot. I want to see if anything changed as far as people noticing or anybody looking at us.
No.
Okay.
Bust away the glass now that the window's cracked. Can we see inside?
I'll use the butt of the AK to kind of just crack open whatever, or crack off any other additional glass that's there to kind of just open it up.
All right, so you approach where you shot the window, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out the bullet didn't go through the window. It's kind of embedded in the glass. It cracked the outside of this. Give me a sand check.
17 out of 32 success. Thank God.
You take no sanity damage, but yeah, so as you get close to this thing to try and smash it all the way through, the bullet got like 2/3 of the way through the glass, but then just kind of stopped. It managed to crack the outside of it, but it did not make it all the way through.
Now that I noticed that, I did not end up actually going to hit it. Since I approached the house, I guess I stopped and I saw what happened, so I didn't. Okay. Is there like a rock or something nearby that I can chuck at this window?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to grab it and then throw it and see if it either sticks to it or if it just bounces right off.
Hey, it bounces.
It bounces? Okay.
Maybe it cracks the glass a little bit, but it doesn't do what a rock is supposed to do.
Okay. I should have been keeping track of this, but how many of the Elder Shot did I get from Florence a while back?
You got 6, you're down to 5.
I'm down to 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to fire one round of the Elder Shot at the window.
All right. So you're going to shoot that. Roll 1d4.
1d4?
Yep.
I roll 4.
All right. So the shot hits the window, and this one actually manages to go through. Like, the window just shatters upon impact with the bullet, but also firing that shot took some out of you. You feel kind of just like whatever's weird about these bullets Florence made, it drains you and you lose 4 willpower.
Okay. 4 willpower? Okay.
I thought the previous game was that Florence already made so it shouldn't have drained because like Florence already spent the willpower to make these bullets.
Yeah, you have to activate the Elder Sign with something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it didn't. When it hit the mask, the Elder Sign didn't actually do anything to it. Remember?
Oh, you're right. Okay. All right. So I'll take 4. You said willpower, right?
Yep.
Jesus Christ! Eldridge House, everybody.
I back up from the house a bit, and I tell Florence, Hey, normal rounds did not work here. I fired some of your special spooky bullets, and it actually did some damage, but why did that make me tired?
The Elder Sign needs life to activate energy. Think about it like that.
All right, well, then we're dealing with some sort of super spooky house at this point. I'm not going in there searching. Fuck this place. We got any special elder shit we can do to set it on fire?
Let me think about it. But first, can from where we are, can we see anything into the window now that the glass is like completely
It's kind of dark inside. There's like a little bit of a glow, like maybe it's an amber or kind of like a purplish blue color from coming inside, but it's really dark inside the house.
Does it look like a dark server room?
Yeah, maybe a little.
Fuck.
We just broke into his son's fucking gaming cave.
No. Why? Cairo Imports. Their network.
Their network is the house.
Can I use my heavy flashlight to just shine it into the window to see if it lights anything up?
Yeah, so you're shining this flashlight in through the window?
Yes.
All right, so that means you're close enough to kind of see in the window, correct?
Yeah, I'm a couple feet away, but...
Yeah, I'm not saying kind of have to be close enough to look in. And yeah, so the inside of this house is weird. You see kind of cables run everywhere, or as best you can tell, they're cables at this distance and kind of this angle. And they're just kind of run all over the inside of the house, kind of haphazard almost. It's dark. You're not quite sure where the glow is coming from at the angle you're standing at, but you're not seeing a lot from the exact angle you're at. You're kind of seeing into, you're guessing maybe like the living room or something. Mostly it's just dark and like you're not at a great angle. And even like with your flashlight going, the light's not doing what it's supposed to inside. It's not generating as much kind of glow and illumination as, well, it probably should in this instance. It's also broad daylight and you're shining a flashlight inside. That kind of messes with how that works a little bit as well. I will point out, it's the middle of the day and not a lot of light's getting inside this thing through any of its windows, apparently.
Okay. Can I make maybe an intelligence check or an unnatural check to see if Florence can think of a way that we could burn down an unnatural house with fire? Big elder sign?
We could draw an elder sign with like some stuff and set it on fire.
The answer is maybe.
I mean, let's try it.
All right. Florence, you're going to have to guide me on this one. Do I roll on a natural check?
No. So is the plan to try and paint like an elder sign on the house or something?
Oh, this is going to hurt.
Yeah, I guess like my one caution on this one is this is a ritual / spell at this point. This is some juice.
Fuck it. Florence will try. Yeah.
Florence, hey, don't just carry this burden on yourself. I know this is a friend of yours.
Let's split the difference. How about Florence touch the house with your elder sign first?
Sure.
Oh, boy.
All right, so you kind of press your palm tattoo up against the house?
Yeah, I'm within like grabbing distance of John and Firestarter, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want to support Florence with my willpower as well. Like I want to help Florence in this instance.
All right, so a couple of things start to happen. One, you start to kind of have to exert your will against the house. You feel the house maybe not pushing back, but there is something it's reacting to. So give me 1d4. All right, so kind of pushing against the house, you're going to lose 2 willpower based on that roll. And that's enough that the tattoo, the ink in your hand, starts to burn slightly as it pushes against this thing. Kind of like it's heating up almost as energies are passing back and forth through it, or it's trying to channel your will into the house. What do you do?
Is there a way like that Florence would know that like Firestarter said to like share a burden in like an instance like this?
I said it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, technically.
I mean, like they could try and grab onto you and help.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
her hand's burning, so she's gonna reach out and grab one of them, like, and continue to just like press her hand against it.
All right. So you're going to kind of keep pushing on it.
Yeah.
Give me another 1d4.
I was going to say, like, watching Florence struggle, I'm going to grab her arm and, like, lay my other hand on top of hers.
All right.
And, like, try focusing as well.
So whoever's kind of helping force or focus or whatever the right phrase is for this into this, give me a 1d4 in addition to this. So it's 2 from Florence.
2 for Firestarter.
And is Foxtrot joining in?
I am watching, holding my AK ready in case anything pops out.
That is actually the smart move in this case. So, Florence, you're going to take 4 points of damage in addition to the 2 willpower you lost, as just kind of the tattoo keeps getting hotter. You're feeling your will act like electricity. It's like almost like a circuit's burning in your hand at this point.
So do I think that if I were to keep doing this, I would take a similar amount of damage or more? Like, is it still heating up even more?
Oh, yeah, it's a continuous increase kind of thing. Like, as best you can tell, it's not gotten better, and the entire time it's been reacting to this. Like, the fact it didn't hurt you at all initially was just it wasn't hot enough yet. I'm assuming your hand is still pressed against the house, right?
I mean, does the house seem to be reacting?
I'm not sure how a house would react to this type of thing. But,
I don't know. Delta Green is weird. So,
no,
I mean,
I'd say the house isn't reacting to this.
No, I think now because another 4 points would bring her to unconsciousness. So her hands probably burn pretty bad. She like rips it away.
Yeah, so the Elder Sign itself is fine, but the area around it is like 3rd degree burn, like a really bad sunburn. You put your hand on a stove, like it's very obviously something bad happened just there. And like the Elder Sign on your hand is glowing hot, which isn't possible because it's human skin. So give me a sand check.
92 failure.
All right, it's going to be a 1d4.
And you know what I'm going to do?
Offload that on your bonds.
I am. I offload all of it onto my mother.
All right.
Oh,
what a healthy way to live.
She just starts cursing, like holding her hand and gritting her teeth.
Maybe it reminds you of past traumas at that point. Like, you're not...
Oh, definitely. Yep.
Florence, hold the fuck still. I hold still. I'm going to try to treat her with first aid.
Yeah, so the longer the hands away from the house, it starts to bubble in certain spots. Like, this is a bad burn, and it came from just kind of touching the siding of a house.
Ritual is what needs to happen. Yep. We need to come back tomorrow, though, because we need a lot of will to exert onto this place.
Gotcha, but just give me your hand.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try to pull her away. Basically, help with Firestarter, but pull her away from the house because she's already let go of it, so we can pull her away and just back up from the house.
Yep.
I also run an alertness check to see if people are noticing us yet or if the house is doing anything else weird.
No one is noticing.
Okay.
I rolled a 97 out of 70% failure on that first aid check.
Yeah, you don't make it worse, but you don't kind of manage to patch up the hand at all.
Just time. Fuck.
This is some advanced shit. I can't treat it without like a full kit.
I've got one in the car.
Well, let's get the fuck out of here. We'll get you bandaged up and we'll reassess.
Fuck, that hurt.
So I'm gonna carry Florence over to the car.
Doesn't be carried, but yeah, fair.
Okay. Well, at least help her over there because she's, dealing with the burn.
So you open the car doors and kind of help her in?
Mm-hmm.
Give me an alertness check.
17 out of 70 success.
None of the cabin lights turned on.
He's dead.
What?
Ladder's dead.
We can't leave till we've dealt with it. Okay. Look, I've got an actual first aid kit here. Just the aloe and wrap it.
So I let Firestarter do that while I keep watch and kind of stay alert and look around, make sure anything pops out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and I'll say kind of that you're under lower stress, you're no longer kind of feeling under attack. Firestarter can succeed at kind of bandaging up Florence pretty easily. It's a supernatural, unnatural burn, but it's just a burn after all.
I gain a D4 back, right?
Yeah.
You like to roll for me, Firestarter?
Why would you ask the one who is not the best at rolls to roll?
Well, you're doing the first
Yeah.
aid. You have to roll.
Yeah. 4, baby!
Firestarter is good at what they do, apparently.
See, this is why I needed that burrito in the morning.
So I have to ask, Charlie, with Florence's unnatural skill, does she understand how this elder sign ritual will work?
So she doesn't really understand the ritual of the Elder's Sign. She understands kind of the concept of what she put on her hand, and admittedly kind of not understanding is what encouraged her to put it on her hand in the first place. And she understands it from a bullet standpoint. She understands it's bad and can be weaponized, but I would say she probably gains 2 unnatural from this whole experience, actually, but mostly because, she understands the physics of this a little bit more than ever. It's this feels familiar. Like there's a science to it. Like we use the phrase hypergeometry because that's what's in the book, but like this really is physics. This really is kind of math. It really is a science and not just mysticism. And she's been around enough to understand kind of thermodynamics and how heat works and kind of the idea that like brake pads heat up in cars and electricity through wires generates heat. So like, for better or worse, she was acting as both generator and conduit of whatever energy the kind of elder sign draws on. Like she knows it drains her, but she doesn't kind of understand it from a mechanics the way we do as players. But I think it's one of those ones where more this should have worked. Like the fact that all that elder sign bullet was capable of doing is breaking a window. The fact that the house was actively, maybe not even actively, but like the fact that it caused her pain. Like,
yeah,
based on kind of your understanding, like this should have just kind of been like, poof, unnatural, be gone, but it wasn't.
Yeah, so it's something that needs a lot more life force thrown into it, basically.
Yeah.
You gotta love that anytime I gain a natural right now, I'm actively losing sanity because of it. So I know this is gonna sound really messed up, but between the three of us, we're not gonna have the life force needed to put this place down, if you understand what I mean.
Are you saying we're gonna die doing this? Like we have to use our life to
No. Foxtrot, it's not that we have to use our lives, is that a ritual requires sacrifice. And no one knows that we exist. There is an entire slew of batteries around us, and we can just blame it on some gas. And I look around, who is the closest person to us?
Street's weirdly empty all of a sudden.
no one in sight?
Well, it's also like 8 a.m. in the morning. People wouldn't necessarily be hanging around at this point in time. I will also point out that what you're talking about doing is sacrificing people, and that will have a cost.
Yep. I mean, it's that or ourselves. Or we go in and we find the heart of the problem.
I mean, I only just saw a glimpse of like what you were trying to see and whatnot. It looked like the Borg straight up set up shop inside your friend's house.
Wouldn't go that far. It's just like a really bad set of cable runs, maybe.
I want to test something out. I go to a neighbor's house and knock on the door to see if they notice me.
No one responds.
No one responds. Can I see people in the house?
Give me a luck check.
17 out of 50 success.
Yeah, you see some people inside. They're about to leave the door kind of thing. Like I will go so far as to say that like they opened the door while you're standing there and like they step around you, but they don't seem to actively acknowledge that you're there.
I try to touch the shoulder of the person that's there.
You touch them, they kind of brush it off, but then keep going.
Okay, so I can actually make contact, like physical contact with them.
You're not like a ghost or something like that.
Okay, so I walk back over to the car and I tell them, I walked up to this person's face right now. I knocked. They sidestepped me. I touched their shoulder and they sidestepped me.
How far are they?
You see them walk to the car in the driveway and kind of get in, drive away.
So I go on my phone. Well, I'll go on my burner phone and I look at these guys and say, are we going to sacrifice human lives here? Is this what's going on?
I don't know.
Give me a yes or no, because I'm about to make a decision and I need to know if this is where we're going to go. This is the way we're going.
I mean, she's going to look around to see what people are thinking.
Look over at Firestarter. What do you think?
Yeah, you're not going to like this answer. It's the program. It's what needs to be done. Sometimes you just have to do some really weird shit. Just carry that burden for the rest of your life. I've already seen too many friends die. I've already seen too many innocents die. And now at this point in time, it's like, comparative to everything we've done so far, we need a human battery. Or at least that's one of the plans. I'm not saying that should be the most active of the plans, but we are running out of time. And it's one of those things where it's like, hey, if this is the situation now, who says that no one's coming for us or we even have all the time in the day? I'm thinking in my head, I could have at least grabbed one, shoved them in the car, and just kept them around for just who knows how long. They don't know I'm here. They don't know what's going on. At least just as a resource.
I have a plan, but I need to know the group is okay with this if we're going the human sacrifice route.
I guess I will also point out, none of you really know how to do that necessarily.
Oh, well, I thought Florence might have had some idea.
She understands how to make the Elder Sign to kind of have it function in the way it's functioned so far. But what you're talking is some high-end, multi-tiered ritual type of thing. And I'm not sure that maybe you can jury rig something, but I'm not sure any of you have the knowledge required to do that necessarily. Like, that's a spell at that point. That's not just if we paint the Elder Sign in blood, it works type of thing. That's the type of stuff the Century Club was getting up to, and to extend a life by a year, it required 13 sacrifices.
So I guess just to piggyback on something here, is the reaction that Florence got to the house specifically because she had an Elder Sign, or was it just any human touch on that door would have caused a willpower drain?
Trying to use the Elder Sign.
Okay.
Question: does she have to actively focus to use the Elder Sign, or does it just activate itself?
I'm not sure you know that, and I think it's kind of a yes, but also no simultaneously. Like, I guess that's kind of the weird nature of the Elder Sign. In the case of the bullets, it's being activated. Like, it's very much obviously part of something. In the hand case, it's a little bit kind of more freewheeling at that point. Like, hypothetically, if you're touching something with the Elder Sign, your intent is to use it even subconsciously, and maybe that's the trigger. I guess at the same time, though, too, just touching something with the Elder Sign doesn't do Elder Sign stuff. It requires intent.
So I would not, like, getting close to the house, the Elder Sign wasn't starting to burn.
No,
or
it was
anything.
actively interacting with the house with the Elder Sign.
Things can go through, correct? No, the rock just bounced off the window, but it cracked it.
No,
The
it
bullet.
bounced off. The bullet cracked a little bit, but it didn't go through. My round of the Elder shot shattered the window, but it drained the shit out of me for a second.
You're worse for wear. I need you to be back up, but have my 6. I'm going to open the front door.
You sure you want to do that?
Look, Florence is no offense to you, but of all the people here right now, she's the least to take the beating.
Look, if we're going in, we all need to go together.
We're going together. I'll take point this time.
Grab somebody here and just throw them in the house and see if they react weird. Considering it's burning people, I'd rather not just take the jump, go in there, and all of a sudden we all get burned.
It wasn't the house burning. It was... I could explain it, but it's really complicated. It was the sign on my hand was doing the burning.
All right.
Here's a glove. Just cover it up. Try not to touch anything. Just keep it in your coat pocket. Let us know if it starts to burn again or anything else like that. But
Yep.
Foxtrot, take the back.
All right.
We'll just go through the front door.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, so you walk up to the front door.
Yeah. Take point from behind, or I'll set up from behind, and I'll have my AK in hand.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah, so fire starters in the front.
Before we go in, can I pop some caffeine tablets?
Sure.
Get back a little bit of willpower before we head in.
I also get some caffeine tablets off of Florence.
Yeah, of course. You want some fire starter?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and take some.
Do we have to roll for the...
Nah, I'll just let you fill up for this. That's fine.
Okay.
You're not taking it to stave off kind of exhaustion right now, so.
Okay.
We're taking it to wake the fuck up before we go into a creepy house.
Yeah. I'd also say, based on kind of previous experiences with creepy houses,
I was going to say.
this is accurate behavior for F-Cell. All right, so we're now approaching the house. We're going towards the front door.
Yeah.
Yes.
You go up the driveway past the car that had the obvious T-bone accident. You go up the front, kind of few front steps, walk across the pile of mail and kind of deliveries. And the first thing that strikes you as odd is that in front of the front door, an immaculate, like almost new looking welcome mat that just simply reads, "Welcome," is sitting there waiting for you. Did you try the door?
I walk up to the front door, plant my feet onto the welcome mat, and just brush my boots. I aggressively use that welcome mat to just brush what's underneath my boots.
Okay.
Bring out my hand, slowly and lightly touch the front door handle, and I grip it. Is anything happening to me right now?
Nothing.
I look back at both Florence and Foxtrot. Well, so far so good. And I look back at the door and I turn the knob.
Yeah, so the knob turns. The door is apparently unlocked as best you can tell. You hear the click of the door kind of lock disengage. You just kind of push it in at that point.
Not yet. I turn back over to John. John?
Yeah.
It's unlocked.
Of course it fucking is.
I kind of tilt my body away from it to give John a little bit of a clear, vantage point, whichever way the door seems to swing in.
Or swing inside typically for security and safety reasons. So, yeah.
Okay.
I will have my AK basically sights, or basically looking through the sights as he's doing that.
Sure.
In the 3, 2, and I just slowly open up the front door.